I'm Mike Rogers from the Mike Rogers Show. There are many news sites, books, and magazines, but people who don't have time to read. Or if you are studying English and want to practice listening, welcome to this show. I'm a radio DJ, but I'm also a film producer, film director, and a columnist. So today, I would like to introduce one of my latest columns that was posted at LewRockwell. Yeah, that's right. LewRockwell.com. So just please listen. And this is pretty simple English. And if you are studying listening, I will not put subtitles under here, okay? This is all going to be in English. This story was written on a story based on my own opinion about American men. Okay? So if you're a Japanese lady and you're dating an American man, you should pay attention to this. Okay? So the name of the story is Western Men Cannot Say Sorry by Mike in Tokyo Rogers. This may seem a bit odd to many readers, but I'll bet if you think about it, you will agree. It occurs to me that many, if not most, of today's Americans and British men cannot bring themselves to say, I'm sorry. Even if something is completely their fault, they just cannot say, I'm sorry. I don't think it used to be this way, but it sure is that way today. I remember in old movies, especially Westerns, people would say, it takes a huge amount of courage and guts to admit when you were wrong. It does take a lot of guts for a man to say, I was sorry, I was wrong. I'm not sure about Western women these days, as I never meet any, but it's very sure that American men are not known to never say sorry. Even the Japanese think so. I have asked many of them, and as far as the Japanese are concerned, even if something isn't your fault, the first thing they would say is, I'm sorry. In many ways, the Japanese do take things a little bit too far, if you ask me, like lopping off their fingers or killing themselves, and I don't mean virtually. So I'm not saying Japan does not have any warts, but this situation points to a bigger problem in Western society. One time, about 20 years ago, I missed the initial broadcast at a radio station. The first broadcast, I missed it. And the broadcast was on a Saturday, and I had met the staff 2 days before that, but no one said to me, hey, see you on Saturday. Yes, no one said a word to me, but that was just my excuse. A few days after missing the show, and it was a big deal that I missed that show, I had to meet the boss. It was a Japanese guy named Mr. Tada. Mr. Tada had lived in the USA for a few years and spoke English very, very well. I went to the meeting, and the first thing out of my mouth was, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so very, 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 very sorry. I repeated it several times, and Mr. Tada was so exasperated and surprised. He said to me, I can't believe it. An American who says sorry. I expected Mr. Tada to fire me that day, but he didn't. And I think he let me keep my job because the first thing out of my mouth was, I'm sorry. I will never forget that lesson in life. About 10 years before that happened, I was working as one of the management at an English company. And I don't recall exactly what happened, but some American teacher had some problem with his students, and the top management wanted to talk to him. So I saw him in the hallway, and I told him, hey man, the first thing out of your mouth better be, I'm sorry. And he said, Mike, I'm not going to say that. And I just kind of thought, okay, whatever. And then he went into the meeting, and at the meeting, he was fired from his job. And I'll never forget the look on his face. He was so red and flushed, and his eyes met mine, and I didn't say anything, but I kind of thought, I told you so. You just couldn't say sorry, could you? And so he was just a typical conceited, arrogant American male. He soon got deported, I believe, because the company revoked his visa. I had a relative who borrowed money from a different relative. I was asked to mediate, a job I wanted nothing to do with. But mediate I did, and when it came to a decision that was fair, one catch was both parties had to say, I'm sorry. I couldn't believe it. What was the big deal with saying sorry? So one of the parties agreed to say sorry, and the other party absolutely would not say sorry. And I can't understand it. Even today, I can't understand it. I had nothing to do with it, and I'm sorry it happened. So what happened to the American male who's adult enough and has the courage to admit he was even a little bit wrong? Is this a trend in American and UK societies? Are people, especially males, so conceited and screwed up they can't say sorry? Saying sorry isn't an admission of guilt. It is simply a polite way to try to make amends. It's acting like an adult. Is this too difficult? So nowadays, we have this Ukraine and Russia mess. I read many articles saying that the Biden administration cannot and will not say they were wrong. What a bunch of little children. Why can't that idiot president just go in front of the American people and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and let's put an end to this slaughter? But no, I have known for almost 30 years, American and British men cannot admit they were wrong. They cannot admit to bring themselves to say sorry. So now we slowly walk into disaster. Just because a full-grown man and an adult cannot stop acting like a child and just say sorry. So that's the story about Western men not being able to say sorry. At the start of the story, I said a bit odd. It's a bit odd. That means, kind of strange. It's a little bit strange. But normally in spoken word or written word, we will say, that's a bit odd, meaning that's a little bit strange. And then also a huge amount of courage and guts. It takes a lot to have courage and have guts to say, I'm sorry. So for everyone who's watching this video, I am very sorry that Western men cannot say sorry. Anyways, what do you think the title of this column should be? Well, the column is called Western Men Cannot Say Sorry and is posted on the website. The link is below. If you like this channel, please subscribe and write your opinion in the comment section. I'm Mike Rogers, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye.